And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you. We are talking about tomatoes. No, we're not talking about tomatoes. We're actually eating an orange, not a tomato. Sorry. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is. But here we are. We are talking about, actually, we're talking about intake sheets. That's what we're going to stay on over here. So looking forward to that. Intake sheets. All right. So here's what I have done over the past 24 hours with regards to this. Nothing. That's right. But just whatever. Been busy with a bunch of different things, that kind of stuff. Okay. So didn't do it. And you know what? Wanted to actually continue to share this with you. The crazy thought process that goes along with intake sheets. I did do one thing though. I've been a big fan of YouTube lately. So I went on YouTube and I hit up intake sheets for podcasts. Good afternoon, Garrett. Intake sheets for podcasts. And here's what I came up with. One guy that did a video about this thing. And I started listening to the beginning of it. It goes on for about 20 minutes. I think the one that he was doing spoke about, well, he had it categorized. Didn't go too far with it, but categorized in different on your Office 365 and stuff like that. You know what? I'm sure he did a great job. Didn't have that many people watching it. All right. I get that. That's part of the whole thing. But I'm going to reach out to him. And this whole idea about how we're presenting ourselves, right? Are we an industry expert, an expert in the industry? Are we the one with all the golden answers? Are we the one that's more of a moderator? And as we're going through over this whole thing, just trying to pull out information and provide you, the listeners, the viewers, because we're podcasting, the best possible information. So we're going to go with that one, Doug. Good afternoon to you. So we're going to go with the best possible information. So I'm going to reach out to him. Obviously, I'm not going to do it right now. I just had him on YouTube. He didn't have any information there. So let's go with number one. All right. If you've got a YouTube channel, put your contact information in that about section. Something, ultimately what we're looking to do here, if you're podcasting, networking, anything like that, you're looking to make connections with folks. Make it easy for everybody, will you? Please. Yeah, even and this has been something that holds true forever. And now we're more digital than ever before. So it's not like, hey, I meet you someplace, Doug, meet you someplace. Give you my card, you give me your card, I have all your contact information, it's great, whatever. It's put you into that CRM system and it's done. Okay. But of late, and I think going forward, networking has changed quite a bit. You can go back and listen to a few of the episodes I've done on that one. But network has changed quite a bit. We now have the ability to meet more and more people online. What that means in the most basic, truest sense of the word is that you're not getting my business card. I'm not giving it to you. Simply because we're not seeing each other face to face. So you're not getting a business card. I'm going to try something right here, also. But you're not getting the card. So if you're not getting the card, then there we go. Let's go bring that down. That might help a little bit. That kind of thing. Trying to make the lighting a little bit better. So you're not getting the card. So that means that my contact information has to be on the site there. Yeah, on the site. Easy enough for you to find. So if you are spending time you have a YouTube channel, you have an Instagram, obviously LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, just make it really simple, right? And put a link over there on every one of those sites to your main source of information. That one common ground place. So working through that myself, want to make that one common ground place where all the information is going to be, it's on the website. That's where I volunteer. That's where the business side of this is. That's where my structured referral partners are. That's where Toastmasters is. That's where this podcast is, all the rest of that kind of stuff. So no matter where you go, you're getting funneled over there. You got all the contact information along the line. That's it. That's what I got to say about that. All right, let's get back into this thing here, though, right? I'm going to have a piece of orange. Tomorrow I have a piece of tomato, okay? All right? This way we keep it appropriate for everybody. I definitely got to change the lighting on this thing. I don't know if I look pale or not, but whatever. Anyhow, let's go to shared screen here. Shared screen, Chrome tab, intake sheet document. There we go. Boom. All right. And also, I noticed when I was looking at his is that is really hard to see. So this may not be that good. So I'm going to go back here with this. And we're going to make the font on all this stuff bigger. $24. All right, so that should be there. All right, good. Let's get back to StreamYard. There we go. All right. So what we were talking about here is that initial stages, of this intake sheet, right? Right. Logo, name of program, host. You're the host, or is there a co-host? How to find the thing? Okay. What's the focus of your program? What do you aim to accomplish with it? I want to show people what it's like to deal with issues. I want to show people how to get through marketing ideas, or how to deal with obstacles. Well, my side of things. Okay, that's good. Are you the expert? Are you a conduit? Or are you an expert in your portion of it, right? So there's the difference there. Length of program, these people know, recorded or not, edited. Again, that's a big deal. That was a question that came up over there, right? Edited. And what would the guest be most appropriate for? So let's go with that. If your guest that you expect to have on are new or need to, and I mean need to get the information right, it has to be there. If your guests are in one of those industries where anything they do needs to be overseen, I'm going to use that word, overseen by somebody else, then it has to be recorded, and it might have to be edited. So there is that possibility that goes along with it. Be prepared. That stuff is time consuming, unless you're just paying somebody else to do it, in which case then it's not that bad, but it still takes time. You can't do a show on Monday, get it reviewed, and then have it come back and say, oh, you got to make these changes, or you got to add in these disclaimers, reference points, stuff like that. That takes time to do. All right. Where could they find it afterwards? If it's edited, how long that takes, obviously. What you need from them. Them. What do you need from them? You need from them the headshot. I could read it from here. I could barely read it from here. I'm sure it's more difficult on that side. But you need from them headshot, good one. Logo, good one. Their bio, release form, talking points, websites that they use, contact data, what message they want to deliver. I think that's a big one. Why do you want, why did they have an interest on being on your program? If they've unsolicited come to you, if you are reaching out to them, you best be able to answer that question. And if you can, in advance, it makes for a very simple email you send to somebody. In fact, I just did that last night. I sent an email, actually a LinkedIn request to somebody with a message saying that I saw your film. He was in a documentary. I saw that, really found it fascinating. Obviously, I did. The skills, the experience that he brings to the table, I think is great from a motivational and also a business standpoint. And I told him all the rest of that stuff. He accepted my friend request, even doesn't know me from a hole in the wall. And I'm now waiting to get an answer back to see if he's interested in being on a program. We shall see with that one. And I can tell you this right now. Don't make promises. Whether it's your show or somebody else's show, don't make promises, because things are always going to change. So make it best efforts. I expect, things like that. When you do get a little bit closer, if you're flat out really scheduling the guests for the week, then that becomes different. Now you really, really want to make sure that everybody is on board. You've got the folks ready to go. doing that, especially if you're doing it outside in a studio. It just has to be. And everybody's clear about the time that they need to be there, or if they're going to use Skype to come in or whatever, uh, that everybody's all together with that one. My side of things, a little different. I could always flip around at the last moment, play a recording and things like that. But if I'm promoting the fact that some person is going to be on, on Wednesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, well, I do expect that person to be there Wednesday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So please confirm it with them and then send them a friendly reminder. Hey, looking forward to our recording on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Or if you're recording it in advance, then it's a little bit different. But if you set the time aside for it, still send out the reminder, very friendly. Lets them know that you're excited about having them on. You're always excited about having the guests on, without a doubt. Otherwise, why are you having them? If you're not excited, if you're not thrilled that XYZ person is going to be on, then I can tell you this right now, your audience couldn't give a darn. Couldn't give a darn. Because it's going to come through that you're not that enthusiastic about it. And that guest will also pick up on that they're not too enthusiastic about it. And all they're going to do is wait for your time to finish your 15-minute program or 30-minute program, whatever that might be. All right, and that's it. So the other items I got over here, there's research items, and I will make this bigger than things you want to know about them, what programs they've been on. This way, you know how they answer questions, how many people have followers. If they're promoting, if they're proactive in that category, and also will they or do they have it? Because there's a few things that will not take place. All right. One thing that will not take place is that most people don't share. Mike, good afternoon to you. Most people don't share their programs, just flat out. Why that is, I don't know. We'll have a psychologist on one day to go discuss that one. I don't know. They think that that they are doing you a favor. Some guests might be, some might be, some not. So that's always going to be a fact that it's something for you to understand. But let's talk about the rest of this stuff. All right. So we're working on a sheet. We sent it out to them. We got all their basic information. We now know a few things that they want to talk about. We now know what their message is that they want to deliver. Okay. They now know about you, what message you're looking to deliver. So that should be something that supports each other. Obviously, if it doesn't match, it's not good. If that's assuming that you are delivering a message or however role that you are looking to put yourself into. But here's the other part of it. And this is the part that I think is probably the most important of them all. All right. Especially if you're going live to tape. They got to be excited. They got to be excited. So how do you get them excited? It starts in advance. One, every time you respond back, looking forward to it. I'm excited that you're going to be on. Throw in a little tidbit of information that you see that you've learned about them. When they send back the bio, ask a little question. Send back the bio. Let's assume they're a U.S. citizen. They went to school overseas. Hey, that must have been a pretty interesting experience. Is there something about that you want to share? Something you learned there that perhaps you don't think you would have learned here. And it fits into this story, of course, that you're looking to bring up. Maybe it's a way that they teach. Maybe it's a course, that could be. Maybe it's how do the Europeans see the Americans? It could be a topic and a half, especially if you're going down that political route. That kind of thing. So all that stuff is a possibility. Also, send that email out in advance or give them a quick call. Hey, looking forward to our interview. That'd be great, and that's good. Compliment their picture, whatever it might be. You could also, when you put up your post, when you're promoting the show, give them a ring. All right, put it up, give them a ring, and say, hey, look, I just put it on LinkedIn. Is it everything you wanted to me to include? Actually, I've done this one in the past. So you written it all out. You got your promotion piece all set to go. You put it up on LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever you're going to put it, where you know that they are at, and then give them a call and say, hey, I just put it up on Facebook. Before I share it anyplace else, is it what you want me to say? Does it look okay for you? And do you have any other place, groups or whatever on Facebook you'd like me to share it? Here's what's going on there is that you're showing an interest in them. That's what you really need to do. You want to let them know that you can care about having them on the show. As long as you could, and the more that, let's go with this words, the more that you interact with them in advance, letting them know that you want them to have all the opportunities to put their best foot forward. Make sure their picture is the one they want to use. All right. Or one of the ones that you want to use that they like, because they're sending you the photos in the first place. The wording. I use the wording that's on their website. Chances of them objecting to that is got to be minimal. But maybe there's some little fact in there that is not in that first paragraph. Because again, you got to keep it short on these. Hey, we're excited to have this person on. Maybe there's something in their bio a little bit further along that they want to highlight because it really fits the narrative of the story that they're going to tell when they come on your program, because that's the message that you want them to deliver. Ask. That's good. Best case scenario, everything you did was perfect. Better case scenario, they ask you to make a little change and you do it, and then they share it even that much more. That's a win. That is a win. Now you've got somebody that's really enthusiastic and going to be proactive about sharing the program. Because what do you really want, right? You want to have a good program. You want to be able to deal with the topic that you're dealing with. Keep your normal folks interested in what's going on. You don't want to change it up altogether too much, each guest, but you want to get new followers, right? You want to get new listeners involved in the whole thing. You want to expand your audience. The best way to do that is to get in front of people you don't know, and the conduit for that is going to be your guests. Yes, if you're in the digital marketing business, all right, I get it. You want to pick and choose. And sometimes this depends upon what you're trying to accomplish. So if you have a guest on that, if you're in digital marketing and your guest is in digital marketing and your different aspects of it, one uses SEO and the other one uses pay ads, you're going to get your business in front of theirs, and maybe they're going to get their business in front of yours. Well, they will, because you got your own followers with the whole thing, and you potentially could pick up clients that way. If though your program is more generic, like this, I'm a little bit more generic, whereas the information shared is about working through different obstacles. So there's no real specific, doesn't matter what industry, that's on, or what people are talking about, right? A little bit more of a focus on the marketing side of things, but that's not 100%. It really is a matter of how do we keep going when we got crap being thrown at us. My gosh, that isn't isn't that a topic, right? How do we keep ourselves going? So a guest that comes on that's into social media marketing, maybe all of his clients are just Jim Dandy and they have no obstacles. That's crap, for one, but so be it. So I might want to tap into that digital marketing person and then take a look about putting the show and promoting the show through digital marketing, through different specific groups of people that are currently going through different challenges. Not the ones that are just the super successful, but the ones that are going through challenges. Let's go to our marketing guy again. Let's just stay right on that topic, right? A digital marketing guy, his clientele is businesses that are doing, $1 million in revenue and above. Okay. What are we going to learn from that? Quite a bit. How those people get there? What are the things that they went through in order to get to that $1 million mark? Things like that. His audience might be a little bit different than those that are working through different obstacles, because they have now are beyond some of the obstacles, and maybe they're just paying people to fix whatever obstacles that come up, and that's how they advance through it. So I may look to take that program, especially that particular program, and promote it to a group of budding entrepreneurs, startup businesses. This goes to like the small business development center crowd, entrepreneur groups, uh, self-starting groups. Maybe there's a couple of lawyers that are out there, um, that are working with startups specifically. Maybe I want to give them a call. Say, look, I did this program over here. It had to do with marketing. We were talking about obstacles that companies face, a wide variety of companies face in their earlier years. I feel that this content really would probably be good for you and the groups that you are part of and manage. Uh, do you mind if I share it that way? If you're going to ask, and I would ask, and you could share it that way. So now you're putting it out in front of a group of people that is not anything to do with the folks that have listened to your audience. So you're a little bit more on the marketing side, or just use those SEO names, the SEO approach to things, and always put in entrepreneur, startup, things like that inside your podcast. They'll market it out a little bit different. Do it that way. Will your guests be excited about that? Maybe not. Maybe so. Will your guest, bend over backwards in that respect? I don't know. But if you understand why your guest is your guest, in other words, why he's interested in coming on the show, you could certainly address that issue. Maybe he does not want to be involved with startup companies. Okay, all well and good. But if you understand why your guest is interested in being on your show, now you got something to go with. Maybe your guest is interested in picking up new customers. That's a question to ask to your guest. You've grown your business, you've helped out all these other companies, you've explained the differences that are in there. Tell me, marketing has changed so much over the past couple of years. How do you market your business? Where are you picking up new customers from? Let them talk. Now, that just became a sales pitch on his side as to how he gets new customers. If that is done properly, that person is now talking to audiences. Remember, it's recorded, so it could be shared any place afterwards anyhow. But now that person is going to be pretty darn excited, because now they get to give their elevator pitch. It's really what it comes down to. They're going to be able to give their elevator pitch during the program. So that's great. So it's really important for that person to understand what it is, or for you to understand why that person is on that program. Another thought too, if you got some clip like that, and this goes into the editing side of things, maybe there's a couple of minutes in there. I take mine for 30 minutes, right? It's on YouTube. It can be edited, all the rest of that stuff. I don't edit, but maybe they do. They want the link to it. They want to be able to edit, and they want to edit out their little piece of it, where they mention about how they market their business and the number of clients that they've been able to help along the way, or some other little 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute little tidbit of information, that's there. I would let them do it. I have let some of the guests do that whole thing. The only thing I ask, and this should be on your form there, is include me. Yeah, include me. So what do I mean by that? Somehow get included, whether it's, you're the bottom third. You could always put a bottom third on these things now, and include that. Let the guests know I was on Brian's show, Tomato Talk. These were the comments that I made, excerpt from Tomato Talk, anything like that, anything, and then tag me, if appropriate and possible. It's always possible. But, tag me in some of these things. You're going to use it in an email? All well and good. Just give me some credit in there. This way, folks, this way I have the potential of expanding my market. And I say I, if you're doing your own podcast, it's the same thing. This way I or you have the potential of increasing your viewership with that one. And also, it gives you something that you might want to take and throw up on your own website someplace. Maybe it's a highlight video that you want to have that, I've done whatever, 100 episodes, 2, 3, 400, 500 episodes, whatever it is. And then you just got your running episode in one category, but then you have another channel, another space on that YouTube site that you have or on your website that has times my show has been shared or I've been quoted or had guests repost this show, segments of the show, phrase it however you'd like to do, but then post those out there too. All right. Now, again, your potential guest coming on, let them know that that is the case, that guests have been able to do this and you're fully on board with doing this thing. They'd be happy. I think that would be an appealing factor for your guests, if then potential guests to come on. Going back to the gentleman I spoke to yesterday, if I tell him, I would love to have you on so you could tell your story, okay. But if I also tell him I'd love to have you on to tell you a story, and I promote the show into various business groups, business development groups, motivational groups, things like that, yeah, I think the guests would be happy about that when they understand what your process is, not just having them on as a guest, but how you continue to share it out, and that they also have the ability to take excerpts if they would like and to share it into their category, their people, their marketing campaign. All good. We want to throw one other thing, and then we're just about at the end over here. One other thing, and I did this originally with another effort when I was doing the Speakers Bureau, is that for that intake sheet, that I used, message where you spoke, what do you talk about, or also who does your website, who manages your website, who manages your social media. I also have who their agent was, but just staying on those two things. Who manages their website and who manages their social media? If they have somebody that manages their website or social media, and I mean managing the website for content, not just keeping it current with all the little, widgets and stuff like that that's on there. Obviously not my area of expertise. But if they are using an outside company in order to do their social media or to keep their content on their website fresh, ask them if you can speak to that person that's handling that too. Maybe they would be very interested in knowing that this person is going to be a guest on your program, and then that gives them additional content that they could use on the website. That gives them additional content that they could share with the social media world too. And that's what they're looking for. Over my years, here's the biggest thing that I've noticed with a lot of people, especially if I speak to the website developers, the marketers, the SEO people, all the rest of that stuff. And they're dealing with their clientele. Their clientele is not giving them as much content as they would like. Some people at the SEO, they do all of it and they write everything. Okay, forget that. But if you got a network of people that are social media people, website developers that are working with clients, that are expecting the clients to send information to them, this way they could post it and share it, that is a great source of guests. Absolutely is. Have that same conversation. These are the kind of guests we're looking for, things like that. But they will refer you to their people that they work with. Same thing actually holds true with publishing companies too. Because now you are satisfying the biggest challenge that they have, and that's content. How do I get my client, how do they get their clients to create additional content? And bingo, you're the one that's doing it. And that's why you need to reach out to them. You also need to speak well, speak often, and live inspired. If you have any questions, any of this stuff, let me know. I'm going to continue to finalize this stuff as I move along. It'll all be great. Thanks for joining in, and see if I can reach out to that guy that did that YouTube thing. Maybe I'll have him on as a guest tomorrow or Friday or sometime soon. Listen, have a great day, everybody. Stay warm. It's a little chilly outside, but that's all right too.